And I will record button and let me do some share. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. So, AstroCoach. Uh, this is a movement to self-discovery and reliance. And today's purpose is really to introduce this session for astrology learning program with me. And the details behind it we will discuss as we move along. Um, so, first of all, um, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks for everybody who's come in. And this is not a thing that has happened by chance. And you will learn why I'm saying this is not happening by chance. And this is a beautiful journey. This is a profound science that you will understand and recognize and realize over a period of time. So my sincere thanks and congratulations for coming on board. What are we going to do today is we will look at the overall initiative and introduction. What happened? How is it unfolding? A lot of you may be having questions around what's going on. And some of those questions will get unfolded as we will speak today, as we will look at, the whole initiative. I did want to leave a sutra on if there are questions that some of you may be having on why 14th October. I mean, in the middle of the week, is there a science behind it? Is there something that is running at the back of our mind? Why did we choose 14th October as a date and time for us to, get to this beginning? And the answer is yes, there is a reason and rationale behind it, and we will discuss that as well. And then I will get into helping you understand how we have designed this course, what's the outline, what's the duration of the course, what's the methodology that we are thinking about as far as the delivery of the course over the next few weeks that will happen. I'll be very happy to respond to any questions that you may have. Feel free to raise your questions during the sessions, but ideally we would have, what we have done is we've kept specific, towards the end of the session, a question and answer section as well. Well, when you start looking at beginning an initiative, and you start reflecting on things that are happening, and in the beginning of the slide we said, here is a movement of self-discovery and reliance. But why are we doing what we are doing? What's the big why, as a lot of us in the corporate world call it, or what is the vision that we have? And what I started realizing that there are ways and means for us to ignite minds for people to become self-aware. A lot of time people are just not aware. And that's the first step towards, making sure that people understand from their position of their own understanding. And then what we saw is that the blending of Vedic wisdom with all the modern behavioral sciences, how do we use and how do we combine it so that people become more self-aware and then becomes more self-reliant? So we defined this vision for the movement called AstroCoach. The mission, very clearly, three areas of our lives, which is relationship, health, and growth, which includes the growth in the areas of career. What I was able to see is that there is a very strong connection through this tool called astrology, which is embedded, which could give answers on these areas very, very clearly. And then what we started realizing is that, how can we provide a structure to this global learning? How can we just make sure that these learning is not only um, in a closed group, but it is across different cultures, across geographies, and across the globe. And this is not a mysticism, uh, but a very, very critical enabler. That's the viewpoint. And how do we kind of make it sure that it is providing a supporting evidence-based um, psychometric style tools that we are kind of using. So that's the mission with which we are putting this together. And then give you daily lifestyle alignment opportunities to say, hey, how can I align myself? And here are the mission statements that we kind of looked at it. It may be looking at this point of time, as the journey will unfold, you will see some very low hanging fruits. And therefore, as we started navigating through this is our first step, the training initiative. This is marking the first formal step towards realizing the larger vision for AstroCoach, because really it is about igniting minds and how can we help people become more self-aware and more self-reliant so that the quality of life starts improving. And it happens, it really happens. So this is our first step. The formal classroom is also an opportunity to introduce you. And I'm very cautious and careful about using this word, introducing you to the science of astrology, because it is very, very deep. It has immense potential. So we are beginning to introduce this science to you. But during this course, my objective will be to give you some very practical insights, some simple examples that will demonstrate how astrology can be applied in daily life. So that's the objective with which we are starting this. And today is the start of this uh, stuff. But just a very quick introduction um, about my background. Many of you know me already, but just as a recap, I'm formally educated in HR from XLRI Jamshedpur. I majored in human resources. I have held senior leadership positions. I've been a CHRO, I've been a chief solutions officer, and uh, I'm the former CEO of a company called XLRI Global Services, where we built software as a services platform um, in about 18, 19 countries before it was acquired by a company called Ceridian, which became Dayforce. And I'm currently employed with a company called Dayforce as their strategic client executive, which means I work on multi-million dollar accounts, managing the complexities. If that adds a little bit of credibility, I've done a lot of work on assessment and development centers. So, my very first works with a company called Aon Hewitt or Hewitt that I joined, which some of you may know is a company that specialized in the area of HR consulting. And I ran assessment centers, I ran development centers. And for some of you who are new to this whole area of assessment centers and development centers, it's really a battery or a set of assessments that are run, that are used in areas of whether we are hiring somebody or whether we want to develop someone, and then define and design, things to really find out where people's strengths and opportunities are, and then you deploy them accordingly. So that's what I've done. And astrology happened to me. Um, and when astrology started happening to me, it was happening by chance, by the way. Um, I started drawing parallels with many, many psychometric tools that I have consumed and deployed. So if you've ever heard about things like 360, Hogan, MBTI, there are a bunch of questions that you are asked. And then, a report is produced that basically tells you about, your position of strength. How do you operate? it increases your level of self-awareness. And when I started looking at astrology, I said, oh my God, I mean, this does all the self-awareness and more. And that's where I started, drawing some parallels. I've accumulated over 3,000 hours as I speak today on the Vedic astrology learning. And the more I study and the more I see, uh, my belief in its power and then ability to democratize. So this is an opportunity and an initiative to democratize that ancient wisdom, which in my belief has not been used in the right format. And astrology as a science, in my belief, after spending so much of time, the science remains unquestionable. What remains possibly questionable is how we interpret and how we use it. And therefore, my objective is to democratize this and then make it easy for you to understand so that you apply this in your own lives. If you know simple maths, if you know a bit of logic, and if you are able to synthesize some information, you'll be able to make sense of what astrology offers as a subject or Jyotish offers as a subject. So let me dive straight in. Uh, Pushya Nakshatra. Today is Pushya Nakshatra. In every geography that you are operating in right now, there is Pushya Nakshatra, whether you are operating in India or down south in the southern hemisphere here in Sydney and Melbourne, where the participants are right now. This is Pushya Nakshatra today. And what is a nakshatra? In English, it's a constellation of the stars. So there's a constellation is also nakshatra in Hindi. In Vedic astrology, constellation, or sometimes it is in Western astrology, it is also called lunar mansions. And what really happens is that nakshatra is this is a constellation that is always static, and there are planets and the moon that is rotating around it. And when the planets and moon that is rotating, when the moon crosses this constellation called Pushya, that we call it, this is called the day of Pushya Nakshatra. And once in a month, usually, or once in 27 days to be more precise, 27.33 is the more precise mathematics, the moon crosses Pushya Nakshatra. Now, my introduction to Pushya Nakshatra was back in Bangalore. And Bhaskar, when I was working in the Bangalore office at Aon Hewitt, you would know a lady called Kalpana S. I'm sure you would know her.
Yes. Yes. I know her. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is, my elder daughter, who was, I think, in very early stages, a couple of years old, and she used to get very sick every now and then. And I was just sitting down in the cafeteria having lunch, and I'm very upset. And I'm saying, what's going on? And Kalpana S talks to me and says, Alok, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. My daughter is just not keeping well, and I don't know what to do with it. He said, oh, why don't you administer Swarna Prashana to her? And I said, what is Swarna Prashana? I've never heard about this. I'm a skeptic, and I don't believe things the way it comes to me, just like that. And then I started researching about Swarna Prashana, and I went to an Ayurveda doctor back in Bangalore. And I questioned the doctor for about an hour to say, what is this Swarna Bhasmas or Swarna Prashana that you are administering? And then he kind of explained this is what it does, and it boosts immunity, it empowers. And this is something that has been happening in our Vedic system of Ayurveda for a very, very long time. And we administer this on the day of Pushya Nakshatra. So every Pushya Nakshatra will happen, and we will receive a notification, and a few drops of Swarna Prashan was always provided. I don't know. All I know is that she improved drastically. And my wife is there, and she would nod. to this whole fact that we started seeing that, she did not have problems that we were really struggling for many, many months together. And she started, improving. That was my first introduction to Pushya Nakshatra, which was some decades ago. And I didn't know until this astrology stuff that happened to me, and I started reading more about nakshatras. So our Vedic rishis, they have done a lot of research, and what they realized is that, there are 27 such constellations, by the way, as some of you would know, there are 27 nakshatras or 27 constellations. That's how they've divided the whole cosmic sky. And whenever this moon comes on the Pushya Nakshatra, it becomes a very auspicious day, because this nakshatra, this stars, it helps or it enables. It's a very light nakshatra and it's a very fast moving nakshatra. So a lot of discretionary medicine that was given in the times of Ayurveda was given on this nakshatra day, so that there is a fast result and there is a quick result. So whenever you want to start something new, you want to do something new, except marriage, by the way. And there is a very deep science about why marriage is not done on a Pushya Nakshatra. But except marriage, anything that you knew that you want to start, if you pick up Pushya Nakshatra, it will always, it is said that the cosmic energy is also giving you that slight nudge, that extra push to that initiative that is happening. And that is why we decided to do this on Pushya Nakshatra. This day, as I said, it supports nourishment. So it supports expansion and it provides lasting success. Learning and teaching, learn, teach, learn cycle. Some of you would know the Gyan Dan, as we say in Hindi, is a very big dan. And when you're starting some of these positive initiatives, the lasting results will come, is what happens. And today is Pushya Nakshatra. Now, the science goes very, very deep. As I said, in a year, possibly you will get 12 Pushya Nakshatras. And if that Pushya Nakshatra is happening on a Thursday or a Sunday, it becomes super powerful Pushya Nakshatra. So think about, starting or beginning something on a day that you want really the cosmic energy gives you that additional nudge. Not only additional nudge, it gives you that double additional nudge. If the Pushya Nakshatra is falling on either a Thursday, which is called a Guru Pushya, or if it is falling on a Sunday, it is called a Ravi Pushya, it becomes extra, extra powerful. So today is not extra powerful, but it's very powerful yet. A lot of folks, buy gold on this day because they want to expand. A lot of people invest on these days because all of these things that you want to expand, it happens on Pushya Nakshatra. So those are, some of the reasons. If I start talking about Pushya Nakshatra, I think it'll take the whole session for us. But the reality is that's how you look at it, and then how do you look at Pushya Nakshatra? Let me take a segue. Let me take a segue from this, and let me generate some interactions at this point of time, because I think it is an opportune moment. But I will move away from this screen and I will go into asking some questions or showing how we go into looking at Pushya Nakshatra. So you can actually go into a website called Drik Panchang. So easy, just go to Google. You can go to a place called drikpanchang.com. I've said Melbourne monthly, but you could say Bangalore monthly. I'm just taking this example, right? Bengaluru, Karnataka. Can you see my screen? I look at that and I will come at this section. It'll give me a calendar. It's giving me a calendar. And if you can see, I'm pointing to the green box. And the green box is today's day. And then it is telling me 15th. Now, this is also telling me that in Bengaluru, this is the name of the nakshatra always. So Purnavasu nakshatra was on, but it ended at 11:54 a.m. in the morning. And then you say the next day, there's Pushya Nakshatra. So what really happened is that 11:55 Pushya Nakshatra started and it will end on 15th at 12 noon. So right now in Bengaluru, there is a Pushya Nakshatra on. And if I want to look at, when the Pushya Nakshatra will continue to stay, what will happen, I can continue to go down in the same place and I will find this guy called Pushya Nakshatra. You will see that the whole year's Pushya Nakshatra will show up. So if I were to ask you a question, and you can unmute and give me that response, in the month of November, when is Pushya Nakshatra coming? Anyone?
The 10th.
10th November.
10th November?
10th and 11th.
10th and 11th. That is brilliant. Thank you. Andre? When does it start in Bangalore?
It's 6:48 p.m.
It starts at 6:48 p.m. and on 10th of November and ends on
Yes,
6:17
p.m. on
p.m. on 11th of
11th.
November. Yeah. So as you can see, every day, every month, this Pushya Nakshatra will come in. And this is one standard. And you can look at it. And if I want to see what happens in Sydney, I can just search Sydney. And instead of Bengaluru, India, I will say Sydney, New South Wales. And then it'll give me the Sydney. It'll adjust the time automatically so that it begins on the following stuff. And then, so next question to the group. Do you see in 2025, was there a Ravi Pushya that ever occurred? Do you remember what a Ravi Pushya was?
It's on Sunday.
It's on
Pushya.
it's 6th April.
6th April. Samirji, you're right. Ravi is one of the Sanskrit word for sun and therefore Sunday. And on 6th of April, it happened. Is there any other Ravi or Guru or Thursday, any Thursday that you see?
24th July.
24th of July. Perfect. Yes. Yes, Gauraji, you're right. 24th of July. Any other Guru Pushya that you're seeing?
21st and 22nd August.
21st and 22nd August. I don't know. Was that Manika?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you got it. Right? So
So just to clarify, so it's
yeah.
the 24 hours that are important. It's not to do with the date so much.
That is right. And I'm not looking at all the participants, but that's Akriti, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that was my question. Because I mean, like, then we don't really care about the date. If we want to buy something or we want to start something, then we really need to care about the time period more than the date.
That's right. I mean, date is
Okay.
there, but the time is important. Yes, because that is determining. Uh, so if you were to take that 30th, 31st of May, it began on 1:59 a.m. So overnight it
Yeah.
began. So the whole of 31st then becomes your day of doing something. If you want to buy something, or if you want to start something, people wear new clothes on these days, etc., etc. Anything auspicious that you want to do.
July 1. So the July ones, that's at like 9:13 p.m. So if I wanted to do something, would 25th be preferable because the bulk of it is sort of on the following day?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I will park that question uh, with more
Sure.
details, because even during the day, there are specific. If you've ever heard about things like muhurta, there are specific
Yeah.
time periods, but where you are is you're right. Then you are more likely to push it to the next day, because the majority of that is there. But there is usually a 24-hour period that you get on this Pushya Nakshatra. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other reflections?
Normally, in Indian astrology, the auspicious day is considered when it is the sunrise. If a date begins, or if the muhurt begins during the night time, evening time, and it is there valid till early morning, then the next morning is considered that day, that auspicious day. Because we means the Indian astrology considers that day begin as the auspicious period. This
Yeah.
is what we have been hearing and following.
Yeah. Yeah. And this question, Samirji, is very similar to what Akriti asked, that during that 24-hour window, which becomes more critical. And there are ways and means for us to look at that also. But I was giving you a macro view that every month you get this Pushya Nakshatra. Why we decided to do this on a Pushya Nakshatra, I was giving you this rationale. And I'll also, during these sessions, I will introduce you to a concept called Navtara that will happen, which are the 27 nakshatras divided into 9 segments, which really talks to you. So what is Samirji's best nakshatras to operate? What is Gaurav Tyagiji's best nakshatras to operate? It's very personal. Your best nakshatra may not be my best nakshatra, but Pushya is generally auspicious for everybody. But out of that 27, you got Janma Nakshatra, so which really means when you were born, there was a nakshatra. And then from there, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you say, oh, I want to do this, and then therefore, and so on and so forth. So I will introduce you to that concept using few examples. So Andre will have a nakshatra, and this is a funny story. Andre and I were at a lunch, and we were just coming out, and then I had just talked to him about this whole concept and how this nakshatras, and I don't know, Andre, if you can still pronounce nakshatra well enough. But I saw the struggle initially, but something happened, and we are just walking down the signal in here in Melbourne, and then there is a car that comes in, and suddenly he says, "Hey, Alok, watch out! And what's your nakshatra today? Are you okay? Are you safe?" So that was a jibe that happened. But the point that I'm making is that this whole cosmos and cosmic energy, if we are able to understand how we fit into this and what works best for me personally, That's the knowledge that becomes very, very profound. Right now, Pushya Nakshatra, standard for all of us. If you want to start anything, do that in the Pushya Nakshatra. That's how I was introduced to Pushya Nakshatra when I started administering Swarna Prashana drops to my kids. And then, it's kind of unfolded. So I'm assuming there are no more questions. So I'll go back to these slides. So Pushya Nakshatra, and then how this course is outlined is that we are this foundational program is designed into 6 sessions. Every session, I'm planning this to be an hour-long session with an optional 30 minutes at the end of the session for question and answer. The session number 1, 2, and 3, as you see, are absolute foundational sessions. This will help you understand the terminologies that are used in Jyotish or astrology. I use this Jyotish and astrology words interchangeably, but it's the same. So those are foundational stuff. I would not get into details about what we will cover because some of these you may or may not know. But that's the level of detail that session 1, session 2, session 3 planned on every Saturday, and we will determine the time that we start, but generally it'll be earlier than how we are meeting today. But session 1, 2, and 3, absolute foundation. It'll help you understand how computations on Jyotish happens. And then session 4, session 5, and session 6 focused on 3 areas of our lives. Again, basic career principles, basic health principles, and basic relationship principles. That's where our focus will be. So this course is designed. This again, it will induct you into this whole program in this particular fashion. That's our objective. Any questions?
Yes, Alok, I have a question. What if we cannot attend a session on that particular day? So will it be recorded for us to have a look at the like next day or whenever we are available? And if we have any queries regarding it, can we get back to you?
Yeah. So you actually had 2 questions. So question number 1, will it be recorded? Yes, the session will be recorded. Although our preference is that you are able to attend the live classes. If you're not able to, the sessions will always be recorded. If there are questions, yes, we will have forums for you to post questions during the 30-minute that we have in the Q&A, or afterwards. You can write to us from the email ID that you receive this invitations from. And
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Alok, I have a question.
Yes, Andre.
In between sessions, is there any recommended study we would have to do?
Yeah, that's a great question, Andre. Yes. So the plan is, and let me give you a little more background to that question also. This system currently is lacking this structure and process, and therefore pre-preparation for participants before they come into the class is absolutely critical. So what you would expect is to see some reading materials coming ahead before the session that starts. You should also expect some worksheets in the class. So printed out blank worksheets that you should expect so that it's ready-made. We want to just make it efficient. So both reading materials and worksheets will be available to you. You would be expected to create your own charts. And today I will give you some views of how to do that and what are some of the things that you should prepare on a software called AstroCoach. With just a word of caution, just prepare your chart. Don't start reading interpretations from AstroCoach. Please do not. Because, sorry, Pushpendra.
Alok, there is a correction. Alok, there is a correction. It's not AstroCoach, it's AstroSage. AstroCoach is yet to have
I
its
am
own
getting into
platform.
AstroCoach so much that, yes, thank you. And, so AstroSage is a software that we will use. I will show you how to generate your birth chart in AstroSage. I will also show you today what are the sections that you should look at. But the word of caution is it also starts giving you your annual chart, annual interpretations, annual predictions. Please do not look at those because this science is failing at the place where it is being used as a predictive tool. It is not. It is a self-awareness tool. And you will see yourself, some of the discoveries that you will make. So I will walk you through how to generate your chart, what sections you should look at, and so on and so forth. So Andre, a little longer response. We're still building these out, by the way. The system process structure not existing, and we're building all of these from scratch. And therefore, but please expect those to arrive in your mailboxes ahead of the sessions.
Question from me. I mean, this is obviously such an extensive science, and there's really no end to learning, and you yourself have so much experience. At the end of this 6 sessions, like, what is the outcome for us in terms of then is the expectation that we just continue to pursue it on our own? Like, how do we develop further? Are we just we've kind of dipped our toes into the world of this? Is that would be an accurate description?
First of all, thank you for asking that question, Akriti. This is an induction. The science is so deep, so deep. This is an induction. And also an understanding. So at the end of this course, you will have enough knowledge for you to be able to start making sense about your own chart. You should get obsessed with your chart, by the way. All of you should look at your chart and get obsessed with it. So it's, is this me? Is this me? But you will not be able to completely get into all the various ways and means. There is not one way to interpret this science, this chart. There are multiple ways to do it. But at the end of this session, if somebody is telling you this house is active, you would know. This planet has this characteristics, you would know. So the best way to describe is that you are getting inducted into astrology or Jyotish, but this is a journey. And then the next steps could be that, there are certain participants who would say, hey, I want to go deep. And absolutely, there is a pathway that we will create for people who would like to pursue this after the induction, saying this is making interest to me. And then there's a pathway to go into basic, intermediate, advanced levels of trainings on this. That will happen. Does that answer your question, Akriti?
Thank you.
What other questions or reflections that are happening in your mind?
Sorry, another one for me.
Go ahead.
I think the way you described it is that it is not a predictive tool. It is an awareness tool, a self-awareness tool. But a lot of times you see this talk of like, oh, if you know your charts, there's remedies and there's fixes. Is that just kind of, is that possible, or is it more a marketing gimmick sort of, you know, endeavor?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's a myth that we want to break through this because
Okay.
because this science was never positioned as a predictive and remedial science, although that became the way which people are looking for shortcuts and trying to get the I want to fix something right now here. This is a journey that really helps you see yourself in a manner that no other tool will be able to tell you. And then you use that self-awareness to take control of your life yourself. No remedies, no. And therefore the science is getting the bad name because then you start looking at remedies. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. People for it works, then you start operating, etc., etc. And you will see some of these operating. But what we are not going away from is the fact that you are a part of a cosmic energy. And that cosmic energy, when the planets are moving, that's the basic guiding principle with which this science operates, is that there are changes to your mind, there are changes to your thoughts that are happening based on how your planetary positions are changing. And your self-awareness, then you use to your advantage. And there is a process called Bhrigu Nandinadi. There is a Bhrigu Rishi. A lot of rishis have done a lot of deep research on this. And then, that process is called karma alignment technique. So how do I align my actions in a manner that my planetary positions are asking me to do? The problem is when I don't align my actions according to that, that's where um, next things start happening. So that is where the thing is. And Andre, yeah. Okay. So I'll just keep moving forward. I know that we have 9 minutes on this, and I got a prompt from Andre. Um, and
Sorry, Alok, sorry to interrupt. I just have a hard stop at 9,
yeah,
and I'm running a meeting on Zoom, so that's why.
yes,
So
yeah,
don't. I'm loving it though, and I'm really keen on going
yeah,
forward. So I
yeah,
don't want it to be
yeah,
so.
absolutely. All right, so that's the course outline. Let's look into this, and I just wanted to give you a macro view of everything that is happening in the next couple of minutes. When we are looking at the overall cosmic energy, here are the constellations, the whole nakshatras that we talked about, the whole stars, the constellations right in the backdrop, they don't move. And that our rishis divided those stars into 27 sections and called it constellations or lunar mansions or nakshatras. And then those constellations were further divided into what in English we call zodiacs, or in Hindi as we call it rashis. And then there are planets. And then there are houses. So what you will see is that there is a division of the whole cosmic energy, the whole cosmic world. There is a whole division that has happened. And how it has been divided is very scientific. The 360 degrees, has been divided to 3 degree 20 minutes for a step. That's the minutest level of division that we have. But while I will go into the details, I just wanted to give you a perspective that the whole energy is with this whole nakshatra, which is in the backdrop. Think about this as a powerhouse which is running at the backdrop, planets moving, and within the planets moving, the moon is taking, its own circles on the planet Earth, creating this energy. And all of this energy is creating an impact. Now, the last section that I wanted to cover today is that whenever you look at a chart, and in a concept called a rishi called Rishi Parashar, who divided the various domains of our lives into 12 houses. And as you can see, it is moving in an anti-clockwise. So anytime you look at your chart, and even if I don't tell you which house is which section is which house, you should be able to point it like, this is 10th house, this is 11th house, this is 12th house, this is 7th house. It'll always remain the same. And what I can tell you, the reason why you are in this class today is because your 8th house is active in some shape or format. And as I said, each one of these houses are some domains of your life, which I will discuss in detail, but I just wanted to give you a preview. The domain of 8th house is as follows on the left-hand side. 8th house is shared resources. 8th house is deep research and occult sciences like astrology. From 8th house, your longevity is seen. 8th house is surgery, something this is not visible from outside. 8th house is transformation. 8th house is secrets. There are accidents that can be seen from this house. This is the house of hidden knowledge. This house can give you sudden gains and sudden loss. From this house, some of the Jyotish will be able to tell you the mode of your death. This house also brings misfortune, and this house is also about others' money. So there are positives, and then there are negatives of each one of those houses. And as soon as you start utilizing a particular house, you start negating the negative energies of that house, and you start attracting the positives of the house. So congratulations. You have already begun your first step. By studying astrology, you are activating the positive sides of your 8th house. And the reason why you are in this class today is because the 8th house has drawn you into this. I just wanted to introduce that, very quick concept to you. And then, take a pause. I wanted to take some time for you to go to AstroSage with me. And I know Andre has to leave. I just wanted to quickly do a time check. Does anybody else have a hard stop?
No, Alokji, I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Then I can go for
I'm okay.
another 5 minutes.
Yes, no issues.
So I will continue. Bhaskar, you okay? Monica, you okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Andre, feel free to drop. Gaurav bhai, you're okay? Thank you. Andre, feel free to drop in whenever you would like to. What I'm going to do next is going to show everybody how to go on AstroSage and how to build their own chart, and what are the sections that they should look at, and what are the sections that they should not look at. And then when we go into the next class, we would have jumped into it, and I'll figure out how to bring you up to speed before you come into the next class, Andre. Thank you. All right, so let's go to AstroSage. Here is a software. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Here is a software called astrosage.com. I'm not promoting AstroSage, but there are a number of softwares. In the astrology world, people use different softwares, but this is almost credible. I won't say 100%, but almost credible, and a lot of easy way to access, what you would like to. So there is a way for you to register yourself on this software. So you can go ahead and do that. And after you register, you would essentially be asked your mobile phone, etc., etc. I'm pretty sure everybody's pretty well conversant. And then you can go to what is called an AstroSage cloud. When you go to AstroSage cloud, you will get a screen like this. And you would have created a chart for yourself. So how you would create a chart for yourself is that you will give your name, gender, your date of birth, your time of birth, and the place where you were born. So again, repeating, you'd give a name. So let's say sample 3. Let's say the gender is female. Let's say right now somebody is born at this point of time and born in Delhi. So you'll get this thing and you say done and save. So as soon as you do that, you will receive a chart or a screen like this. Now don't look at other sections of the screen. What I would recommend is you go on, there's something called as try new worksheet for astrologers. Well, you are not astrologers, but I would love you to go into this section and hit this worksheet for yourself. So you will see that sample 3 will be actually your name. So it'll say Bhaskar, Akriti, Manika, Pushpendra, Samirji, Gaurav Bhai. It'll give you all of those details and your date of birth and time of birth that you would have put in. And by default, it will give you certain certain sections of the worksheets that you would want to look at. There are certain worksheets that are important. I would like you to retain those. There are certain worksheets that I would like to add more. So let's get rid of this guy called Bhavachalit. And I want to add something more. So what I will do is I will add a box. As soon as I added a box, it gave me a blank box, and I click on this settings button, and I want to add something called as Navtara. So there are many things that you can add. It's like, what you want to read. But I want to add something called as Navtara. You will find this in the tables section in the second column. If you keep going down, right, and you will see Navtara. So you click on that and make that available for yourself. So what I will highly recommend that you have at least these charts available for you. So you have and you can, as you can see, you can just keep on arranging like a tile, like a block for yourself. The most important chart is your Lagna chart. These are 12 houses. House number 1, it will never be visible to you. The house numbers are never visible to you. I will tell you what these numbers are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Lagna chart, very, very important. Your Navmansha, your transit, you know how to add Navtara for your own chart. Bring in Ashtak Varga, brilliant binary system through which you can know how mathematics works for your charts. And then there is something called as dasha and these charts, and I will explain to you. So build these 6 tiles for yourself at the bare minimum. Again, repeating, bring your Lagna chart, bring your Navmansha, bring your transit today, bring your Navatara, bring your Ashtak Varga, and bring your Vimshotri Dasa at the bare minimum. And then we will start interpreting your charts. This is what you should do. What you should not do is go here and then start looking at predictions and reports, and then start looking at how's my love life going to look like, how's my career horoscope, nature horoscope. Please do not. These are AI generated. It works on permutations and combinations. The accuracy of this is something that, I mean, it requires a level of understanding. So don't go into those sections. Just go to your worksheet. Look at how your Lagna is looking like. Look at how your Navmansha is looking like. Look at how your transit is looking like. Navtara, very, very important. You know, there are 27 Nakshatras, as I had called you. It is organized in 9 different areas. I'll talk more about it and the Vimshotri Dasha. And I'll tell you how to look at the Dasha, how to look at Antardasha, how to look at Pratyantar Dasha, all of that. I will show you how to look at that and how to look at, what is the timing of event. So timing of event, will be really understood by these and planetary positions. So give me a thumbs up if you've understood and noted what you need to do from a worksheet and preparations perspective. Perfect. All right. That's a big thumbs up. Any questions on how to generate your sections in the Astro Sage? Perfect.
What if I don't know the exact time of birth? How do I generate? I know the date, but I exactly don't know the time of the birth.
Yeah,
So
that's a
in
good
this
question.
case, we'll get an accurate chart, or how do I can?
Yeah, good question, Bhaskar. Time of birth is an important element. And there are various methods. So don't get disappointed if you don't have your time of birth. So there are other ways to look at it, and there is a correction that can happen. What is called a birth time rectification process that happens, and there is a way to do that. But if you know um, your day of birth, and if you know whether it was in the morning or evening, best guess, still produce your chart. You will not get the absolute pada level detail, which means absolute clarity. Some of those details will be missing, but you will still get I will say, you won't get 120,000 feet level of detail, but you will still get a 15,000, 5,000 feet level of detail. You will still be able to get. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Thank you. Yes, hello. I got it.
Okay. Any other questions? I see Alok Ranjan ji, you have joined. I don't know when you joined, what time during the session, but this session has been recorded. And
hello sir, I can join sir late due to I am in meeting in my office. That's why I'm saying it.
Okay, not a problem. This session is recorded. We'll be
meeting from my office, sir. That's why.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay. Any other questions? Any other last minute questions on anything that we've covered today? Looks like there is no more, which is a good sign. So as next steps, 1st of November, we really look forward to beginning the real session with all the details. And every session, my promise is that I'll give you one simple sutra that you can go back and apply in your life and then start utilizing it to align your life positively. That's my promise. And we begin on 1st of November. The session will start on every Saturday. This will be a little earlier than the session, but we will be communicating through the email ID. Welcome on board and congratulations on this journey. I'm pretty sure you will uncover a lot about yourself. It will be fascinating. Well, thank you so much for your time this evening and tonight. And we will again meet each other on 1st of November. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alok.
Bye-bye.